Hello boys, welcome back to another session of video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 11th biology students. And as all of you know, we are revising the entire syllabus. As part of it, I am giving quick revision notes for each chapter so that during examinations it will be easy for you. As part of it today, we are dealing with chapter number 19, excretory products and their elimination. So, what is basically elimination or excretion? Excretion, as all of you know, is the removal or elimination of waste products of metabolism from the body in order to regulate the composition of the body fluids and tissues. So, basically, it is done by human excretory system. How these products are waste products are formed? It's because of the food that we eat. So what type of food we consume, that decides what type of excretory products will be formed. Like if you eat more of proteins, because nowadays people say eat lot of proteins, eat lot of proteins. When we consume lot of proteins, the end product of digestion of proteins is always the nitrogenous products such as urea and ammonia. So there is positive side of it and negative side of it also. Elimination of metabolic waste, that's why we are using the word metabolic waste products from the animal body to regulate the composition of body. What is the purpose? To regulate the body fluids. Just now in our previous chapter we said two types of fluids that flow in our body. One is blood, another is lymph. So the purpose of this elimination of excretory products from our body is to regulate the composition of blood and lymph. And of course, tissues has to be clean and neat. So that is the purpose why excretion should take place. And who will perform this excretion? Human excretory system. We have got a separate system which is supposed to perform all these functions. That is, the waste products such as ammonia, urea, uric acid, carbon dioxide, and ions like Na+, K+, Cl- and phosphates and sulfates. All these are to be eliminated, and for that we have got separate human excretory system. So this human excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, basically a pair of ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. And this process, as I said, depending upon the type of waste product, the different modalities will take place in varieties of animals. Like ammonia is the most toxic. Toxic means poisonous, and uric acid is least toxic. So the effort of the animal body is to convert everything into uric acid. So the process of removing ammonia is called ammonotelism. Ammono. And organisms that excrete ammonia are called amnotelic, like bony fishes, aquatic amphibians and insects. These are the examples for amnotelic. The organisms that release urea as nitrogenous waste are called ureotelic. So mammals, terrestrial amphibians are ureotelic. The organism that excretes uric acid is called uricotelic. Don't get confused between urotelic and uricotelic. Ureo is urea, urico is uric acid. So that's how you must remember. And uricotelic animals are reptiles, birds and land snails. Okay, and what are the different excretory organs that are present in varieties of animals? Let's have a list. Animals: flatworms, some annelids, and cephalochordates. They have protonephridia or flame cells. Many times in NEET exam he will be asking you flame cells. Okay, these are excretory organs. Don't think flame cells means some flame will come. Okay, earthworms and annelids. Of course, nephridia, as we have studied already. Insects including cockroaches, of course, Malpighian tubules, and in our own case mammals, it's a well developed kidney. And as I said, human excretory system is meant for throwing out or eliminating the waste products that are formed in our body, so that the body maintains cleanliness and neatness with health. So it consists of, just now I said, a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters. So this is pair of kidneys, right kidney and left kidney. So this is 1, this is 2. So pair of kidneys, pair of ureters, this is 1, this is 2, left and right. Then you got urinary bladder, this one, and of course urethra, the opening through which the urine passes. All the waste materials will be passed out. So let's see the diagram. Now you need to draw this diagram again. And what is important, normally when you draw the excretory system, people tend to draw only these kidneys, ureters and urethra. They forget conveniently these tubes, blue one and red one, and that is important. So the blue one is inferior vena cava, and the red one is, the important one is the renal artery, renal artery, and then renal vein. These are two important ones. And when we take this section of kidney, VS, vertical section we say, we will see what is inside the kidney. So there are two areas, outer cortex, inner medulla. And this inner medulla will have pyramids, okay, pyramidal structures, as you are seeing, these black ones, the pyramidal structures. And inside this, you have got units of excretory system, and those units of excretory system are called nephrons. So nephrons will be present inside the medulla, and of course there is pelvis. And both the kidneys, if you observe again, left and right, they are not at the same height. You must have noticed that. Just ponder over why is it so. And from the kidneys, all the waste that are filtered through nephron will come to ureter. From ureter, left and right, the waste material will get deposited in the urinary bladder, and the urinary bladder is a flexible structure. It can expand and contract, and it can store the urine for some time. And once it is filled, you have got a signal from the brain that urinary bladder is full, and you feel like urinating or eliminating the urine through urethra. And all the waste that are formed in various tissues and cells, they are all being brought up by this renal artery and renal vein. Again, renal artery, renal vein, just like pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, they are exceptions. So kidneys are reddish brown beans shaped structure situated between the last thoracic and lumbar vertebra. So when you just stand up and put your palm on your waist, where your middle finger touches, that is the place where kidneys will be there. So don't have the wrong idea that kidneys are somewhere else, okay? And particularly don't think that kidneys are in your head. So they are in the lumbar region, back, okay? Each kidney has a notch on its inner side called hilum, through which ureter, blood vessels and nerves enter. You can see that hilum? Yes. Then, as I said just now, the vertical section of the kidney depicts the following things. So first is the outer cortex and the inner medulla. And I said just now, inside the medulla there are pyramids, pyramidal structure, medullary pyramids are there. And then there is a calyx, renal artery, renal vein, renal pelvis, and of course all the nephrons, tubes, collective ducts we call it. Collective ducts will come out of the kidney in the form of ureter, and ureter continues. You got a renal capsule. So inside the hilum has broad funnel-shaped space called renal pelvis, with a projection called calycis. Inside the kidney are two zones, outer cortex, inner medulla. Medulla is divided into medullary pyramids projecting into calyx. Cortex extends between medullary pyramids as renal column called columns of columns of Bettini. The functional unit of kidney is nephron, as I said. Each kidney contains about 1 million nephrons. And each nephron has two parts. The glomerulus part, as you are seeing that the network of tubules, renal tubules, and glomerulus is stuff of capillaries formed by afferent arteriole. Blood from glomerulus is carried away by efferent. See the spelling efferent and afferent. Renal tubules start with Bowman's capsule. So this cup-shaped structure is Bowman's capsule. It continues with tubular parts divided into PCT, proximal convoluted tubules, Henle's loop, and distal convoluted tubule. Where are those? Let us identify. So first one is the Henle's loop. This is Henle's loop, and Henle's loop is in U shape. The one, that yellow one, is this one. This one is descending limb, and you got a curvature here, U shape, and then this one. This is ascending loop of Henle. A scientist by name Henle has discovered this loop, hence it's called Henle's loop. And you got PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, this one, and then you got a distal convoluted, DCT, distal convoluted, and then the distal convoluted tubules will join into a collecting duct, as I said. And so all the nephrons' tails will be connected to this collecting duct, and collecting duct comes out of the kidney in the form of ureter. So the Malpighian tubules, PCT, DCT of nephron are situated in cortical region, cortex, whereas loop of Henle is situated in medulla. Again, this is a neat question. Loop of Henle into the medulla. So the two types of nephrons, juxtamedullary nephron and cortical nephrons. Loop of Henle is short, whereas here very long one you are seeing, loop of Henle, and it is extended deep into the medulla in cortical, whereas in juxta it is little into, only little extension. The glomeruli lies close to the inner margin of the cortex. The glomeruli lie in the outer cortex. So all these are the parts of the nephron, and nephrons are morphological and physiological units of kidneys. So it consists of two parts: an initial filtering component, the renal corpuscle or Malpighian corpuscle, and a long tube, renal tube. The renal capsule filters out large solutes from the blood and delivers water and small solutes to renal tubule for modification. The renal capsule is composed of capillary network called glomerulus and a Bowman's capsule or glomerular capsule. Bowman's capsule consists of, as you are seeing, Bowman's capsule consists of two layers: outer parietal layer consisting of simple squamous epithelium, and inner visceral layer consisting of specialized epithelial cells called podocytes. Yes, this you need to remember. Podocytes, again neat exam question. Podocytes, where are they present? And these podocytes contain filtration slits through which the urine gets filtered. Glomerulus is a capillary network within the Bowman's capsule. Blood enters glomerular capillaries through afferent arterioles and leaves through efferent arterioles. So the efferent arteriole divides to form peritubular capillary network around the convoluted tubules of nephrons. This network gives rise to vasa recta, which extended into medulla. Attached to each Bowman's capsule is a long, thin renal tubule with three distinct regions, that is PCT, this one, PCT proximal, DCT, and Henle's loop. Okay, and this is how the liquids that are formed, the waste products that are formed, will be filtered from each tissue that has been brought by the renal artery. Hence, the blood and the lymph gets